Welcome to the Winging It Travel podcast with me, James Hammond, where every Monday I'll be joined by a guest to talk about their travel stories, travel tips, backpacking advice, and so much more. Right now, I'm taking the podcast on the road travelling with me, so tune in every week for short form episodes detailing all my travels alongside my Monday guest episode. Are you a backpacker, traveller, gap year student, or simply someone who loves to travel? Then this is the podcast for you. This is a casual, informative podcast designed for you to inspire you to travel. There'll be stories to tell, tips to share, and experiences to inspire. Welcome to the show. Hey, yeah, just a quick one. I just want to say there are many ways to support this podcast. You can buy me a coffee and help support the podcast with $5, or you can go to my merch store with the affiliate link with TeePublic, where there's plenty of merch available to buy, such as t-shirts, jumpers, hoodies, and also some children's clothing. Thirdly, which is free, you can also rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, or Good Pods. Also, you can find me on social media on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Simply just search for Winging It Travel Podcast, and you'll find me displaying all my social media content for travelling, podcasts, and other stuff. Thank you. Hello, and welcome to this next solo episode of my travels. And today I'm going to talk about my little holiday in Cyprus. After an intense 10 days in Lebanon, it was decided that I'll meet back up with my girlfriend Emma in Cyprus for a holiday, which would also encompass my birthday. Nothing really planned. We had agreed to get an apartment. I think we just need a bit of a home comfort there. Preferably a kitchen so we can cook some food, a balcony, and all the above. We found an apartment about 7 k's outside of Larnaca, and this was very reasonably priced, but you would probably need a car to get there. Pretty much was in kind of a little village by the beach, which is fantastic, exactly what I wanted, but not in the city of Larnaca. When I arrived into Larnaca airport, it was quite late, around sort of like 10:30 in the evening. I needed to get a taxi. Now, taxis in Cyprus are an absolute joke. This is only a 15-minute drive, and it costs €35. Absolute joke. You might as well just hire a car for a day. That would be cheaper, even if you don't drive it. But once I arrived into the apartment, it was great to be somewhere quiet, not chaotic, and to get some real good deep sleep. We did book a rental car for the weekend, so arriving on a Wednesday night. I think we're going to pick up on Sunday, so we had a few days kind of walking around the local beach and area, and maybe walking to Larnaca too. So the next day really was just chilling out, going to a local coffee shop, and just kind of checking out the local beach and not doing too much. We popped to a cafe called Second Cup that does decent coffee, but unfortunately no coffee cups. They give you like the paper cups. That was very much like a local coffee shop, 10-15 minute walk. It's next to the Cafe Nero if you looked on a map. And we also walked along the beach, not a great beach by any means, but nice to be alongside the water. And then leading up to the weekend, on one day we walked actually to Larnaca along the beach, which is about 7k walk. Took an hour and a half, maybe a couple of hours. Stopped along the way, got an ice cream, got a coffee, kept going, half on the beach, half on the road. Got into Larnaca and really just wanted to check it out and see what it's all about. But essentially Cyprus is pretty much well known in the UK and quite English based. You've got all the English sort of classic coffee shops or eateries, and there's so much choice that kind of reminded me of home. Larnaca as a place, not amazing. It's got the classic beach town vibe. It's got a little walk along the front by the water, but I can imagine there's a lot of high rises there that house people there to drink and have a good time, which is absolutely cool. Not my scene. So we walked around Larnaca and then got the bus back. Buses do generally turn up on time. Cost about €2. Yeah, decent value. And we got them a few times. It's definitely worth doing if you want to get about in Cyprus if you haven't got a car. Then on a Sunday we picked up the hire car called Aircar, Aercar, from the airport. Got the bus there. Went to the airport, picked it up, no problems, and drove straight to Limassol to meet Elisabeth, who came on to the podcast last year. She runs the podcast The Most Memorable Journeys. She lives in Cyprus, from Switzerland, speaks about 100 different languages. Real inspirational woman. Had lunch in her garden because she promised me if I ever visited Cyprus, she'll provide me with lunch in her garden, which happened. Had a great catch up in the afternoon. Checked out Limassol. Went to the archaeological site of Amethyst, which is definitely worth doing. Had a great view of Limassol too. Then walked around town, checked it out. Started to rain a little bit, and we started to realise that the next couple of days for my birthday is going to be rain. Pretty devastated about that. Got back to the apartment, and then next day was my birthday, and I wanted to go to Ayia Napa to check out the area. And pretty much the weather was poor from about 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We wandered about, had a coffee, had a breakfast, but just couldn't get any good weather until about 4 p.m. Then we went to Nissi Beach. Put Cyprus in Google, probably comes out on Nissi Beach. Real cool place. It's got a nice little sand bit that goes to a different island. You should definitely go and walk along there. Quite busy on this day because it was flickering in and out of sunny weather. But 4 p.m, sat on the beach for a couple of hours, and it really was nice to get something out of the day in terms of weather. We're quite near a recording for an advert for a beer, which is a local beer, and nearly got embroidered on that, and that was quite cool to see. And then in the evening, I went to a place called Ocean Basket for dinner and had a lot of fish, which I did not react well to. Over the next coming days, we went to Larnaca again, checked out the town, went to do a few bits of admin, more coffees in different places, but really nothing else to really report on. Cyprus is very easy to go to for holiday. They have quiet roads, good roads, hire cars are pretty cheap. The three big towns in the Greek side, Paphos, Limassol and Larnaca, got all your amenities there. Everyone speaks English, it's all reasonably priced for dinner, food and drinks. And with good weather, it certainly is a place to chill out and enjoy yourself. I think people do go there, especially in the summer, to have a bit of a party. It's kind of known for that in the UK, to pop over there to Ayia Napa and places like that. But it's also got some other sides to it, that if you get a rental car, you can go into the hills or go to a very quiet place along the coast and check it out. Of course, you can go see Nicosia, the capital, and see the bit where it's divided into the Turkish and the Greek side. That'd probably be worth doing as well. We didn't really plan to do that. It's quite a drive from Larnaca, probably about an hour inland. If I go again, I definitely will check that out. Overall, a great break. I needed it because it's pretty intense right up to that point for travelling non-stop since we left. Recharged batteries, and then we're flying to Jordan next, which will be the next mini-series of my travel solo episode. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.